Let's talk about 3D and the opposite. What to do when the opposite shows up, and how to stop taking 3D so seriously in the first place. Let me show you how you create events that show up in your 3D. And once you understand the illusion, once you see it, it dissipates. You're free. Let's dive in. So, the world of 3D is the world of matter, this world of things that appear to be solid, the world of the facts, as we call it sometimes also. We need to have a 3D reality, realm, in order for us to be able to experience in physical form what we already are in concept. You're this no thing at your core, I'm talking about, yeah? You're this no thing that can become whatever thing by just imagining itself to be that thing. When I talk also imagination, and when Neville says about imagination, girl, imagining is all you do. It's not only when you sit there willingly and try to conjure up like an imaginal act. No, imagination is everything you do all the time. When you get to conclusions, that's also imagining. When you place a label on something, you say, this is that way. That's also imagining. All you do is imagine. And based off what you imagine yourself to be, your world, your person, your money situation, you name it, based on what you imagine all these things to be, they have to show up in 3D just like that. So this world of 3D matter gives you the privilege, if you want, to play the mad scientist or the magician. Because as above, so below. As within, so without. What's this above? Your mind. Below, 3D. But I get it when 3D becomes the enemy, let's say. Like when you don't know how to create and you just react. I understand. You're like, 3D is the enemy. I should not look at 3D. No, girl. 3D is here for your enjoyment, is your playground. And now let me teach you how to actually get what you want, also in 3D. And to show you that's not the enemy, but your friend, actually. So again, manifestation is about being, not about doing. Manifestation means the unseen becoming seen. So once I identify with a concept, I will have to experience it in the world of matter as well. That's all what happens all the time. 3D is not random, ever. Ever. Nothing shows up in your world by mistake or by coincidence. You put it there, one way or another. Sometimes it's very literal, like you think about somebody and they say, hey, I thought about you. But sometimes it's not so literal, like you assume your SP stopped loving you, and then in 3D, they look like they are dating someone else or they love somebody else. So see, it's not always word for word, but along the lines. And if you chase back a little bit, if you look back to the moment you change your mind about your SP, you're going to see that things started to change. Now let's look at why you should not take 3D so literally. So why you should not be so serious. Okay, girl. If I call you some nasty word in my language, in Romanian, I call you stupid, but then I tell you it means you're beautiful. Well, you're going to have the experience of me giving you a compliment. That's what your experience is going to look like. Hey, this girl told me I'm beautiful. Does it really matter what that word actually means? Does it matter if I call you stupid in my language? The true meaning, let's say, of that word, does it matter? Or what matters the most is your experience? Or another example, have you never vibed on a song that you don't understand the language, only to find out after some time that it's about loss or death or something creepy? I did, vibing on a French song that meant, that substance unalived my family and girl. So does it really matter what's out there? Or it matters more what you make it mean for yourself? Because the moment you place meanings on stuff, that's how you're going to experience them. It doesn't really matter what that thing is outside of your meaning, because you only can experience your own meanings. We also become slaves of the 3D world. We try to change it, we try to manipulate it, we try to make things happen out there. All while inside we are not. Because we think, I'm only gonna be able to experience what I want when it's already outside there. But think again. Even when you got your SP the way you want them to be, or that job, or that house, or whatever it may be in 3D, even when you get them, it's still you provoking this inner felt experience of the thing. It's still you. So you don't actually need the thing to have the experience. And when you understand this, is when your life is going to change. Because usually we get trapped in cycles. For example, let's talk about money here. I keep on looking at my bank account from the assumption that I don't have enough, then this not having enough reinforces my inner experience of not having enough money. Again, I look on the outside, again, I get disappointed, I say I don't have enough, and so on and so forth, and I get trapped in the cycle of not having enough money. And it doesn't matter. It's not in the numbers. I had 2 jobs and still experienced money as not being enough. Let's go back to an SP example here. So in the beginning, when things were nice, and this person was there and telling you they love you and telling you they ain't gonna leave you, when your fears started kicking in, or your insecurities, you were not taking this person seriously. His words were like empty for you. So why are you taking his or her words seriously now when they tell you, I don't love you anymore? Do you get my drill? So back in the days when your fears started kicking in and things started to change, he was still there telling you, hey, I still love you, I still want you, why are you talking like this? But you, nah. You disregarded his words completely. But now you take them as a fact, and it's still you who created this. The moment you anticipated that you're gonna be left, that he maybe is gonna find somebody else better than you, or whatever the case, you started pushing out in 3D reality just this. Do you know this saying in the Bible? To whomever has, even more it shall be given. It will have an abundance of it. To whom he has what? Whatever assumption. I assume I'm wealthy, even more wealth I'm gonna see. I'm gonna have an abundance of whatever I assume to be true. And then, to whom he has not, even what he has shall be taken away. This is what happened to you with your SP. You had it there, he was telling you he loves you, yeah, but you started assuming this is not the case, so that was taken away from you. What actually happens here, my love, is that you moved realities, parallel realities if you want. I like to use these examples sometimes because you understand it better. So you moved to another possibility and collapsed that as a fact. Out of infinite others, even if you have no proof for what you're assuming, that assumption, the false, is gonna become a fact at the point. And now this, what you call the opposite, is just that, a manifestation of your state of being. Because that's what it happens all the time anyways. And I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, but how can I believe my new assumption? You don't have to. Girl, you started assuming out of nowhere that your partner will leave you. He was telling you he doesn't plan on doing that. Out of nowhere, without any 3D reason, you just started assuming that. You didn't need an external proof. So why do you need an external proof right now for the opposite? Why? Why you think you have to believe it first? You don't, my love. There's no need for yourself to convince yourself on a logical level that what you assume is true. I do it the effortless way. And the effortless way is from above. Like, I know I'm all things, so I must be also that. No matter what my 3D says to me right now, no matter what my bank account tells me, no matter what my SP says to me, whatever I see on his social media, everything is 3D, yeah? So who cares? I created this in the first place. So just the way I created this, I can create whatever else. How? By moving in consciousness, by changing my mind. That's all. And the moment I change my mind about what's happening, the moment I decide I'm somebody else, I see my world through this new assumption, girl. I look at everything through this new assumption. It's not something empty that I say to myself, yeah, I decide I am a millionaire, but then I keep on looking at my reality as the poor person. I keep on letting my bank account tell me that I'm not. No, I tell my bank account who I am, and my bank account is gonna conform. I tell my SP who he is for me inside of me. Like I don't go and tell them, hey, you're my husband. I don't have to do that. I just decide who he is for me, and then he has to. It's a guarantee. So stop treating 3D as your master, because it's only a byproduct. A byproduct of what? Of you, of your state of being, not even your thoughts. Because again, I can think about Jason Momoa all I want. If I don't identify with the person that is with Jason Momoa, guess what? My thoughts are going to be just that, thoughts. Now let's get into the opposite. What to do when the opposite shows up. And let me give you some examples from my own life, and things that happened just yesterday. So in the middle of my sessions, I get an email from my accountant telling me that I still owe them 500 euros. Girl, don't get me wrong, I make a lot of money, but I still don't like to give away money like that on stupid stuff. You know what I mean? But anyways, so the circumstance at hand, 3D, is I have to pay 500. Okay, what do I do with that? Because I have the choice to make it mean whatever I want. So the difference between me now and me 2 years ago is the following. Me 2 years ago, whenever I would get a message like this, I would panic. I would freak out. I would calculate all that I have in my bank account and all I have to pay, and I would feel poor and struggling and money was not enough. And me today, I chose to see this as, yeah, whatever, 500, no big deal, because I'm a freaking millionaire. I have a lot of money. So my aim is not to get small expenses, but to make big money. So I don't care. And don't get me wrong, I don't have $1 million in my bank account yet, but that doesn't faze me. Inside, I am a millionaire. I'm even surprised sometimes when I forget to transfer the money that I make from my sessions into my bank account. I forget, girl. And I'm even surprised that I go shopping I go shopping for whatever I need, like a millionaire that I am, okay? And sometimes I don't have enough in my bank account because I forgot to transfer the money. To me, 3D is the lie. Do you get me? Like, wait a minute, what? I don't even know how much money I have in a bank account anymore. Before I was like all the time checking and calculating all the money that I had, trying to, to see what I'm gonna save for expenses, for the rent, for the food, I don't do that stuff anymore because I don't need to. Because I know it doesn't matter what my bank account shows me now. My life can change in 5 minutes. And let me give you another example of this. So because I did not react badly, let's say, seeing that 500 out of nowhere expense as a big deal, only 2 hours in, I was still in my sessions doing my one-on-ones, 2 hours in, or something like that, somebody booked me for the next week 2 times. Same person, 2 sessions. And 2 sessions are 700. So I even got more than the 500 I have to pay to my accountant. So basically, the accountant paid herself in 2 hours yesterday. Because I don't freak out. Another example here. Only 10 days ago, I said I'm ready to take someone full-time, the expensive option, the 5,000 option, okay? Immediately, the moment I decided that I have someone for 5,000, people started popping up asking me about this option. Some asked me if I offer payment plans. Some said, hey, I'm really interested in this option, but I cannot afford it. Along those lines, okay? So what would you do in my situation? What would you see from, for example, I'm interested, but I cannot afford it? what would you see? I saw the interest. I choose to see the interest instead of I can't afford it. If I were to pay attention to the part of I cannot afford it, it would take me to, to that reality. Then from there, you automatically start thinking, what if I'm too expensive? What if there's a lot more people that want, but they don't even ask me anything about it because they see it as, oh my God, too much. And if you persist in this, then rest and assured that you're gonna lower your prices. You're gonna convince yourself you're asking too much and you're gonna lower your prices. Now translate this to an SP situation. Let's say you have contact with your SP, but he keeps on telling you that he doesn't want to be in a committed relationship with you. You have two things here. You are having your SP, but not in a committed relationship. If you keep on paying attention to this second one, you keep on recreating that. You're going to be pushed down the line or down the reality where you keep on dating, but nothing is getting serious. So he'll keep on telling you the same old, all the time. Where you place your focus on, your attention on, it expands. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. So, will choose and always choose what's best for you. What did I want you to see? The interest of people or that they cannot afford it? What do you choose to see? That you have communication with your SP, that you do see each other, you do stuff together, or the but part where he says, yeah, but I don't want to have something committed, something serious. Reacting is creating because you keep on focusing there. And whatever you focus on expands, it has nowhere to disappear. All things are here, by the way. And imagine this girl like you being in a dark room with everything that exists. It surrounds you. You stay in the middle. And you have a lantern. So if you flash the light on the left corner of the room, you're gonna see what's there in the left corner. The more you keep looking at it, the more obvious it becomes, yeah? It stays there because you're looking at it. It has nowhere else to go. It cannot disappear. You cannot be looking at your TV expecting it to transform into a chair. So we keep on focusing on he doesn't want to have a committed relationship with me, but we expect miraculously one day for him to come and propose, for the TV to transform into a chair. Do you see it? If you want to observe something different in the 3D, you will have to change where you're looking, change the light to another corner of the room. And how you do that? Girl, for now, I understand that you want more from your SP, but place your focus on the things that you already have and be grateful and enjoy them. You cannot get more by focusing on what you don't have. You simply can't. And even what you have is going to be taken away from you in a sense that you ain't going to be able to acknowledge it. So you have the nice things, but you brush over them and you focus on the things that you still don't have. So you don't even realize. It's going to look like nothing is working. You don't have your manifestation. He is still the same way, the same old way as before. It's not. It's you giving the same old meanings. You keep on looking in the same old places. So how can you see anything different? It's so easy, I promise. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention, 5 days in, since I decided that I have a new long-term client, he showed up without even questioning and asking anything. At 3 a.m. he was trying to pay. I don't know if I said this, I forgot. So the moral of the story is the following. If you don't like something, stop looking at it. Starve it of your attention. Because you're the one and only boss, God, in your reality. There's nobody else giving you stuff. It's not your SP telling you they don't want a committed relationship out of their own free will. It's still you creating that because you keep on looking at that. You keep on entertaining these assumptions that you have about them. I don't know. There are no obstacles but the ones you assume there are. Like, I've heard a lot of stuff during my coaching sessions. Like, when I ask people, so why do you think you cannot be together? Well, some say, well, because of the distance. Others say, yeah, but he's been married before and he doesn't want to be married again. Or some say, well, I ruined everything and I cannot go back now. My love, it's a mental thing here. If you think you ruined something, you did. But not because you actually did, but because you keep yourself hostage to the reality where you ruined something by just acknowledging that, by just assuming that it's true. Who cares what he says, girl? Who cares what he says? If he tells you that he's been married before and he doesn't want to do this again, it's also you somehow. Maybe you have a belief along these lines that people that got married and they got divorced, they never want to hear about marriage ever again. I had a client that she manifested her SP being married because she said at this age, if they've never been married, something is wrong with them. So voila, that man showed up married, because otherwise she would not have paid attention to him. If she thinks that after a certain age there's something wrong with you if you've never been married, do you see it? It's all you, to the smallest detail. There's a reason why he says whatever he says to you, or said whatever he said to you. And you take these words so seriously. You make them your truth. Nothing is random. 3D doesn't show you anything random. What you see outside there, it's inside you somehow. And once you change inside, the outside also changes. That's the order, always. So first of all, stop making whatever that shows up mean. You're getting the opposite. You're not. Girl, you're the one and only open power of your reality. And this means that whatever order you're placing, let's say, whenever you say, I want this, and then whatever shows up in 3D reality, it's still your order. When people said to me, I cannot afford it, I didn't take that as the opposite. In fact, I took it as a proof that it's already happening. I took it as the receipt, not the opposite. But people get stuck there. They're looking at the no, they look at whatever happens and they label it as what they don't want, and they dismiss the greater thing here. As in the video with the coin or with the building. Stop looking at the no. Recognize that the no always comes with an yes. They always go together because together they form the whole. So look at the whole instead of the one particular thing that you're getting, the no or the yes. Let me give you another example that I saw in my comments. So someone said, I was very convinced that he's mine, and then I wrote him a message and I was ignored. Well, the assumption was not wrong. If you assume that he's already yours, do you know where you went wrong with this? Is that instantaneously, if you didn't get a message, you labeled it as I'm being ignored. And you went back to the square one, where you started. Why did you label anything as you are being ignored, ghosted, not taken seriously, not valued? Why? Why? It's still your impression. And it's even more than that, because the moment you assume something to be true, you move there, where it is true. The moment I erased out of my vocabulary the word ghosted, I stopped being ghosted. Meaning, the moment I stopped assigning whatever happened on the outside, I'm ghosted again, it stopped happening. Back in the days when I was listening to all these dating coaches, I had a lot of definitions about everything, like narcissistic behavior, ghosting, orbiting, what else? I don't know, girl. A lot of these kind of nonsense definitions. And when you look for it, you're gonna see it. Because you look from it. If I wanna see if I'm ghosted, I'm gonna look through I'm ghosted. Girl, the proof is never outside. And I understand you wanna believe more in the law. And you search for proof on the outside. But where do you look at outside from? If you're in a no contact situation with somebody, I don't understand. What do you want? What do you expect to see on the outside? If this is what you assume, You're there in a no contact situation. And the more you look on the outside, the more you're going to convince yourself of that, because it's from here the place where you place even further labels on the situation. If I look from I'm ghosted, I'm going to see that I'm ghosted. I'm going to see it even if somebody didn't reply within 2 hours. The proof is never on the outside. Never ever. The only proof that you actually need is, did I change? Did I move in consciousness? The movement doesn't happen on the outside. The movement happens within. Because no matter what your SP comes and says to you, if you still believe that they don't care about you, girl, even if he shows up at your door with flowers, you ain't gonna believe it. You ain't gonna believe it. The movement happens inside. Have you really changed your mind about what's happening? About him, about you, about how he perceives you, about all this? Have you really changed inside? Because then you don't need any proof anymore. When you think you need validation from the outside, you have not changed, my love. You're still looking through the eyes of who you used to be up until now. Therefore, that's the proof you gotta get from the outside. Stop needing 3D for validation. Stop making it your master. Like, your whole purpose of your existence is to make things happen in the 3D. Girl, make them happen inside you. You're here for the experience. And again, you can have the experience of whatever right now. If I make this experiment again with the lemon, yeah, imagine you hold the lemon in your hand and how you feel its skin and how you smell it, and then feel these juices, squeeze it and feel these juices running down your hand, and then you lick these juices. You're gonna salivate. Yeah, congrats, you salivated to an imaginary lemon. You had the experience. Did you need the actual lemon to be there for you to have the experience of licking a lemon? No. So why do you think you need anything else in 3D? You can give yourself the experience now. How do you do that? Decide you are it, and then look through these eyes, through this new assumption, at your reality, and you're gonna see it. There's always the no and the yes there. There's always the yin and the yang. There's always the I'm interested, but I cannot afford it. So what do you choose to observe? To me, I cannot afford it doesn't exist. It's not a thing in my reality. And because it stopped being a thing in my reality, then I don't get to experience it anymore. Do you see it? Stop forcing things. The only thing you get also is more confirmation that you don't have it, that you're not it. When you try to force someone to write you, when you try to get a reaction out of them, your state of being is the one that creates your reality. Not what you do, not what you say, not your thoughts, even. I demonstrated to you, thoughts can be empty. Like, if I don't identify with the state, I can think about camels all day. I can think about Jason Momoa all day if I don't identify with the person that is with Jason Momoa, right? And I don't want that. But I'm just saying. So, girl, 3D is the lie. What's happening inside of you is your true reality. What you imagine to be true, what you imagine yourself to be, that's your whole reality, not what happens out on the outside. Learn how to give greater meanings to stuff, because after all, it's you who experience exactly that. It's not like, I also had this fear that, oh my God, maybe I'm making up these stories in my head and then the outside is completely different. No. And if I see something different from my imagination, it's because I label it that way, on the spot. Just like this person labeled being ignored on the spot. Yeah. And then she was freaking out that she's being ignored. Girl, you're fine. Trust me, you're fine. Just become more aware of what you say you are, of yourself, where you place your focus on, what meanings you give stuff. That's all what you have to do. And I think I'm done here for now. I don't know when I'm gonna post because I have a hectic week and I have a lot of work. I don't know, girl. I guess you'll have to come and check if there's something new posted on the channel. I don't know. Okay? Thank you for being here and talk to you, I don't know, soon. Bye.